Hello and welcome, my dear friend. If you're here, you already know deep down, God didn't send you to this world empty-handed. There's a purpose woven into your soul, so specific, so divinely tailored, that even you can't quite explain it sometimes. And the truth is, carrying that kind of purpose is heavy. It's not all glory and miracles. Sometimes it's confusion, isolation, and constant recalibration. Because when heaven chooses you to carry light in a world trained to dim it, your very existence becomes instruction. Dear chosen one, there's something sacred about the weight you feel in ordinary places. You can't move through life unnoticed, not because you're trying to stand out, but because your energy can't hide. God didn't make you invisible. He made you visible proof that living right still has power. That's why even walking through a store, sitting in a cafe, or waiting in a line can sometimes feel strange. Like people are aware of you without looking directly at you. Like eyes flick toward you and then away too quickly. Like your presence wakes something in them they don't know how to name. And you've probably wondered, why does it feel like everyone's eyes on me? Why do I sense tension that isn't even mine? Here's what's really happening, both spiritually and physically. Spiritually, your field has expanded. When God activates a new layer of your assignment, your frequency heightens. You start vibrating on a wavelength that communicates before words ever leave your mouth. But there's also something else, something even science quietly admits. Studies in behavioral psychology show that humans unconsciously pick up micro-expressions, tone, and even faint energetic cues from others within milliseconds. In simple terms, our bodies read each other's energy long before our minds interpret it. So when you walk into a space, people's nervous systems register your presence first. It's not that they're judging you, it's that their biology is catching up to your spirit. And here's the twist. Your energy doesn't blend like it used to. It's cleaner now, stronger, sharper. That makes others' hidden emotions, fear, envy, attraction, confusion, rise to the surface without warning. So when you sense awkward tension in public, that's not social anxiety, it's something bigger. Your frequency is pressing against theirs, revealing what's unspoken. You might notice someone act friendlier than usual, speaking faster, or laughing too loud. That's not them being fake. It's their body trying to match your vibration. Or someone might go quiet mid-conversation, avoiding your eyes. That's not rudeness. It's not knowing how to react to you. Your presence mirrors the parts of them they've buried. Dear chosen one, you carry a presence that pulls truth out of people, and that's not easy for them, or for you, because you're constantly reading a room that doesn't even realize it's speaking. You feel the exhaustion that doesn't belong to you. You absorb emotions that were never yours to fix. And when you go home, you can't explain why your body feels like it just ran a marathon. That's the invisible price of divine purpose. God entrusted you with a sensitivity that most would collapse under. He allowed your spirit to stay open in a world that's constantly closing. You see the unseen. You feel the unsaid. You sense the unseen battles happening behind polite smiles, and that's the pain of it. Right beside the warmth of feeling God inside you, seeing beauty in small things, finding peace where others only chase miracles. But that sensitivity isn't weakness, it's a divine strategy. Because when heaven sends a healer into a crowd, it doesn't come as thunder. It comes disguised as empathy. And your empathy is so strong, it confuses people. They don't understand why they feel safe and uneasy at the same time around you. Safe because your spirit reminds them of God. Uneasy because your spirit also reminds them of what they've been running from. That's the paradox you live in. You comfort and convict without trying. And yet, I need you to understand this. That weird feeling you get in public isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's confirmation of your uniqueness. It's evidence that your spiritual identity is no longer local. You used to only affect what was near you. Now, your presence radiates. It moves through air. You shift frequencies without speaking a word. That's why strangers glance twice. That's why some people act distant or overly familiar. You're triggering recognition in their soul, not in their mind. You were never just walking through crowds. You were walking through assignments disguised as strangers. So when you walk through a space and your chest tightens for no reason, pause for a moment. Don't label it as anxiety. Ask, Spirit, what am I picking up right now? Because sometimes God lets you feel the atmosphere so you can cleanse it by simply being there. You are not absorbing the energy, you are correcting it. My dear friend, you were never meant to go unnoticed. You were meant to remind the world that the divine still walks among the ordinary. Every step you take in public is ministry, even if no one ever calls it that. And that's why people react. Their eyes widen, their words stumble, their energy shifts. They don't see you, they see the God that sent you. So the next time that strange, almost electric discomfort rises when you're surrounded by others, remember, it's not something wrong within you. It's something right emanating from you. The world feels what heaven already knows. Your energy has been recalibrated for purpose, and they're just trying to catch up to it. I'm sure by now you asked this question many times. How do I live with it? How do I walk through the noise of the world without letting it drain what God placed within me? Because this gift, this heightened sensitivity, isn't meant to isolate you. It's meant to train you. God isn't teaching you to avoid people. He's teaching you how to influence them without ever losing yourself. Dear chosen one, the goal is not to harden your heart. It's to strengthen your spirit. You don't need thicker walls. You need deeper roots. When your roots are deep in God, you stop reacting to every vibration around you. You become like a tree beside still water. Winds may shake its branches, but the roots never move. That's you now. Grounded, unshaken, learning to let the storm pass through you instead of into you. And this is how you protect your peace. You carry awareness, not fear. You sense energy, but you don't absorb it. You acknowledge tension, but you don't become it. Because not every discomfort requires a reaction. Some moments only require recognition. Sometimes all you have to do is breathe, slowly, intentionally, and remember, you're not the chaos you're sensing, you're the calm that entered it. That's what walking with divine authority looks like. Not always loud, not always visible, but steady, deliberate, centered. There's something you need to know about spiritual presence. People feel peace even before they understand it. So when you stay calm while everyone else is rushing, when you smile without explanation, when you move with quiet confidence, it reorders the atmosphere. That's purpose showing itself through the physical. God positioned you as living proof that stability still exists in unstable places. So when you walk into a room and feel something shifts, don't question it. Let it. The world has enough performers. It needs presence. And your presence is prophetic. You don't have to announce it. Just be it. Every time you forgive, instead of retaliate, you broadcast heaven's frequency louder than words ever could. And every time you choose love instead of hatred, you silence the noise of the enemy without speaking a sentence. Dear chosen one, this is why God allowed you to feel so much, so you could learn to filter through love instead of fear. You were never meant to become numb. You were meant to become discerning. There's a difference between carrying light and performing light. Performing light tries to convince the room. Carrying light transforms it. You don't have to smile all the time. You don't have to be perfect. Just real. Because real light doesn't pretend, it radiates. And if you ever feel exhausted by this assignment, remember, every vessel of light needs distance sometimes. Not to escape people, but to reconnect with the source that fuels you. Pulling back isn't bad. It's spiritual maintenance. Every time the world overwhelms you, step back into prayer. Let silence reset you. Let solitude remind you who you are when no one's watching. That's how you keep your energy pure, by constantly returning to the one who gave it. And when you do, you'll notice something powerful. The same rooms that once drained you will start feeling lighter when you enter, because you no longer walk in wondering how they'll react. You walk in knowing who sent you. That's when confidence stops being performance and becomes presence. You'll see it in people's eyes, confusion turning into calm, tension turning into thought, resistance turning into respect. Not because you argued your worth, but because your spirit stayed aligned. That's divine maturity. That's how heaven recognizes its ambassadors. And yes, there will still be days where you'll feel misunderstood, even lonely. But loneliness is only temporary for those who walk with divine assignment. Because sooner than you think, God is aligning others with the same frequency. People who understand your depth without translation. They will not compete with your light. They will protect it. The truth is, your power isn't in reaction. It's in restraint. So the next time you step into a public space and feel that strange energy rising again, remember this: you are not walking into their atmosphere. They are walking into yours. Your spirit was built for this exact moment in history. That's why the world reacts the way it does. You are heaven's evidence that divine light still breathes on earth. So lift your head, walk steady, and let your presence preach louder than words ever could. Because when God recalibrated your energy, He wasn't just changing how people see you, He was changing how the world feels when you arrive. Before you go, if you'd like to sit in this same peace a little longer, I've created a place for that. My second channel, Simplified Serenity. It's filled with worship instrumentals made for prayer, meditation, and stillness. A quiet space for your heart to breathe, rest, and connect with God. Just tap on the playlist on your screen. I'd love to see you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. God led you here for a reason, because your body has been trying to tell you something your mind can't quite translate yet. You've noticed it, haven't you? The strange shifts, the sudden exhaustion for no clear reason, the waves of heat or tingling that pass through you out of nowhere, the sense that food, music, people, even your own reflection feel different. No, you're not imagining it, and no, it's not random. What's happening to you is alignment made physical. Your body is finally catching up to the frequency your spirit has been carrying for a while now. Think of it like this. When an instrument is out of tune, every note it plays carries a slight resistance. But once it's tuned correctly, every vibration flows effortlessly. That's what's happening inside you right now. God has been tuning your system, cell by cell, heartbeat by heartbeat, to match the energy of the life He's calling you into. This is what spiritual alignment really looks like. It doesn't always begin in the mind or emotions. In fact, it often begins in the bones, because your body is the vessel that has to hold what your prayers have asked for. And if the container isn't ready, the blessing can't stay. So God begins to prepare you through the only language you can't ignore, your own body. That's why you've been feeling tired lately, even when you rest well. That's why some foods don't sit right anymore. That's why crowded places feel heavier, louder, almost overwhelming. It's because you've outgrown the energetic skin you used to live in. Your old patterns, your old rhythms, they were built for survival. But what's forming now is built for purpose. Your body is becoming responsive to peace instead of adrenaline. It's learning to rest instead of react. It's being retrained to recognize divine safety as its new default. And this doesn't mean you're sick or broken or too sensitive. It means your system is learning to exist in a higher form, one that no longer needs chaos to feel alive. When God elevates your spirit, He doesn't forget your flesh. He refines it too. He starts clearing the pathways, nervous system, digestion, heartbeat, hormones. Everything starts to shift toward harmony. Because the destiny written over you requires a body that can sustain calm power, not constant defense. That's why people who are waking up to their true alignment often notice their body asking for stillness, or cleaner air, or more water, or longer quiet moments. It's conserving energy for what's coming. It's not laziness, it's intelligence. Your body knows when the divine blueprint is being activated. And here's something most people don't realize. Before a major transformation, the body almost always lags behind the soul. You felt the calling first. Then came the emotional shedding, relationships, habits, mindsets. Now it's the physical reconfiguration, the final piece. You are literally outgrowing your old nervous system. The one that braced for disappointment, the one that flinched at every unexpected sound, the one that prepared for betrayal, even in safe places. It's being replaced by something new, a vessel that can finally hold joy without fearing it will be taken away. So if you've been feeling heavier, slower, or oddly emotional lately, don't judge it, don't rush it. You are being reshaped into someone who can carry light without burning out. This is the stage that comes right before everything stabilizes, when the spiritual architecture is almost done and the body is integrating the upgrades. Sometimes it feels like your senses are too sharp. Colors look more alive. Music hits deeper. I'm sure you notice people reacting differently around you. They're responding to the new frequency you're emitting, the one heaven installed when you surrendered to growth. You're not becoming someone else. You're returning to the person you were always designed to be, before fear distorted your posture, before doubt dulled your eyes, before the world convinced you that sensitivity was weakness. This is what it looks like when divine design reclaims its place. Your body doesn't just obey gravity anymore, it obeys grace. And it's okay if you can't explain it to others yet. They'll see it soon enough. In the glow of your skin, in the calm of your presence, in the way peace follows you into places that used to drain your energy. It's all connected. Your body is becoming a translation of your spiritual evolution. It's God's quiet way of saying, I'm not just changing your circumstances, I'm changing you to fit them. So the next time you feel that strange pulse, that buzzing in your ears, that shiver out of nowhere, instead of fear, say this: my body is aligning with my destiny. Because it is. Every cell, every heartbeat, every breath, none of it is random. It's the sacred symphony of transformation. You see, transformation isn't only about change, it's about integration. Learning how to be in the new space God built inside you. Because when your body starts catching up to your spirit, it's not just adjusting its chemistry, it's rewriting how you exist in this world. God never upgrades your life without first upgrading the body that will carry it. He's teaching you to live in sync with His rhythm, not the world's. That's why your timing feels slower, but your peace feels deeper. You're learning divine pace, the art of moving only when heaven moves, and that requires trust. That means there will be days that feel unexplainably still. Please don't label them as unproductive. Stillness is how your cells integrate revelation. Your body cannot expand and rush at the same time. Even in nature, every metamorphosis includes stillness. The cocoon before flight, the pause before bloom. The same principle lives in you. But society convinced us that every second must be filled, every breath accounted for. We've been trained to mistake motion for meaning, to chase activity and call it worth. Yet, what could be more sacred than sitting in stillness and hearing God whisper within? So if you find yourself craving quiet or disinterest in chaos, that's not disconnection, it's divine focus. You're shedding overstimulation because your new frequency can only thrive in clarity. And slowly, you'll notice something else too. You no longer crave validation from people who misunderstand your path. You no longer chase places that don't match your peace. Your appetite for noise disappears because your system is finally satisfied by alignment. That's what this ultimate form really means. Not perfection, harmony. You've become a living bridge between the physical and the divine, body carrying soul, soul guiding body. And that glow others begin to see? That's coherence. Your energy, your words, your presence, all saying the same thing. And as this continues, you'll notice new sensations that aren't discomfort. They're indicators of activation. The pressure behind your eyes when you pray, the warmth in your chest when you forgive, the flutter in your stomach when you follow intuition instead of logic. These are confirmations, not coincidences. Your body is learning to respond to heaven in real time. And this is where most people get scared. They think something's wrong because it feels unfamiliar. But the unfamiliar is how alignment introduces itself. You're not malfunctioning, you're receiving updates. Imagine trying to run divine software on an outdated system. It would overheat, glitch, collapse. That's what these weeks, these shifts are preventing. God is making sure your foundation is strong enough to hold the miracles you asked for. So instead of trying to get back to normal, let yourself create a new normal. Eat slower, speak gentler, breathe with intention. Walk as if your steps are being guided, because they are. Every time you feel your body vibrate, hum, tingle, or ache slightly without reason, remind yourself, I'm being refined to fit my purpose. You're not behind schedule, you are perfectly synchronized. Allow yourself to live without the constant pressure to perform. Let yourself breathe without guilt. Release what's missing and appreciate what's present. And there will come a day soon, maybe when you wake up in the middle of an ordinary morning, when everything feels aligned again. You'll stretch, breathe, and realize the heaviness is gone. The exhaustion that once confused you will feel replaced by calm vitality. The restlessness that kept you searching will transform into gratitude for what already is. That's when you'll know your new form has stabilized. You've become what your spirit always prayed to embody. And from there, life begins to reflect your inner state. Doors open easily. Conversations flow differently. People meet your energy instead of draining it. Even timing begins to obey you, because heaven aligns with those who align with themselves. You'll understand then that this wasn't just a spiritual awakening, it was a biological one. God was never just renewing your mind, He was re-engineering your biology to match your belief. So when your next miracle arrives, and it will, your body won't reject it, it will recognize it, because that's what all of this was for. And now, you're standing on the threshold of the very life your system has been built to sustain. So tonight, as you rest, don't pray for change. Pray for completion, because the work has already begun. Every pulse, every breath, every moment of stillness, it's heaven finishing what it started in you. And when you wake up tomorrow, remember, you're not waiting to transform. You already are the proof that it's happening. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. You found this message now because this morning you impressed God in ways you probably didn't even notice, chosen one. Not by doing something grand or public, but by living right, which in God's eyes means doing the small things with a clean heart. Living right looks like waking up and making your bed even when your mind is heavy. It's replying with kindness instead of sarcasm. It's checking on someone without needing to be thanked. It's saying thank you under your breath before your first sip of water. That's the kind of rhythm heaven respects. Because when your life starts to move from intention instead of impulse, God pays attention. You didn't impress Him with results. You impressed Him with rhythm. The way you carry responsibility. The way you pause before reacting. The way you let honesty win, even when it costs you comfort. Most people measure success by what the world sees, but God measures it by how you move when no one's watching. And lately, your movements have been aligned, small, deliberate, sacred. You've been living right without even realizing how rare that is. You speak slower now, not because you're unsure, but because you're aware. You walk lighter, not from ease, but from peace. Your home stays tidier, your words kinder, your thoughts quieter. You're tending the garden of your life instead of waiting for someone else to water it. That's what impressed God. Not your ambition, your attention, not your plans, your patience. When He looked at you, He saw someone who finally understands that holiness isn't found in temples or sermons. It's woven into habits. It's how you treat people who can't benefit you. It's how you keep showing up even when there's no applause. And many times, living right isn't glamorous. It's choosing to do what's honest, not what's easy. It's saying no to gossip when silence feels awkward. It's praying before you scroll. It's forgiving people who still think they hurt you. That's the quiet excellence the unseen realm rewards. And that's what your life has been speaking lately. You impressed God because you've been steady, you've been truthful, you've been gentle, even when the world gave you every excuse to turn cold. And while you might think no one notices, heaven always does. Because divine eyes aren't drawn to noise, they're drawn to consistency. When you held your tongue in that conversation, when you helped that person even though you were tired, when you refused to match someone's bitterness, those moments registered. God saw a spirit choosing maturity over momentum. That's what living right looks like. And maybe today feels ordinary. Breakfast, work, errands, quiet evening. But it's within these ordinary moments that heaven sees extraordinary discipline. That's what it means to impress God, to do the normal things rightly. You're no longer trying to win, you're trying to be well. And that, my dear friend, is divine approval in motion. The way you whisper gratitude before sleep. The way you make sure your thoughts stay kind even when your feelings aren't. These are the things that count the most. That's why, this morning, when you moved through your routine, brushing your teeth, preparing your coffee, stepping outside for a moment of air, you might have felt a subtle calm you couldn't explain. Because God doesn't just watch how high you climb, He watches how cleanly you walk. And lately, your steps have matched His rhythm. You impressed Him because you've learned the art of quiet greatness, doing good without needing to be seen, living clean without demanding credit. That's what makes you different. So if today feels simple, peaceful, maybe even uneventful, take that as your sign. You don't need fireworks to prove alignment. You just need to keep living right. One honest word, one gentle act, one mindful breath at a time. And please, don't get caught in the trap of thinking you have to be impressive in the eyes of society to be valuable in the eyes of God. There's a world of difference between them. Society feels satisfied when you're productive for it. It rewards obedience and calls it success. Because if you ever realized how different and worthy you truly are, you wouldn't follow its every command. That's why you hear hustle more often than you hear presence. The world wants agreeable people, not chosen ones like you, who see deeper meanings in what's rarely spoken about. You see, the world trains people to chase the loud moments, the promotion, the praise, the perfect post. But God moves in the pauses between them. He looks for hearts that can hold peace without needing proof. And that's you. When others rush to fill silence, you've learned to listen inside it. When most pray for miracles, you've started to live like one. Your discipline, your gentleness, your refusal to let bitterness win, they've all become a kind of language heaven understands fluently. That's why life feels quieter now, not empty, accurate. Because when your inner world aligns, the outer one starts following orders. You've stepped into a place where gratitude happens before gain, where prayer is less about asking and more about agreeing, where your joy doesn't need witnesses to be real. That's the maturity heaven celebrates. Not noise, but knowing. And though you might not see fireworks, you're surrounded by evidence, the peace that sits in your chest longer than it used to. The clarity that replaces confusion quicker each time, the way certain things just don't bother you anymore. That's not indifference, that's growth finally feeling like home. Dear chosen one, this is what divine favor often looks like before the world names it. Nothing grand, nothing loud, just quiet order returning to every corner of your life. Because while people chase recognition, you've been learning reverence. And reverence changes everything. It changes how you handle money, how you speak to waiters, how you talk to yourself. You move differently now, not because you're trying to impress, but because you finally understand what's sacred. Even ordinary things, folding clothes, cooking dinner, locking the door at night, have become altars of awareness. That's the mark of someone who has impressed God. They stop dividing life into holy and normal. Every action becomes a prayer in motion. So if you've been wondering why life feels slower, it's not delay, it's design. You're being taught divine pacing. God doesn't measure by seconds. He measures by surrender. He's teaching you to trust that peace is a form of progress. And once you internalize that truth, something remarkable happens. Your body relaxes, your breathing deepens, your mind stops bracing for impact. You start to notice how many small things have already aligned for you. The conversation that calmed you, the closed door that protected you, the moment of laughter that arrived out of nowhere like medicine. You realize you're no longer chasing blessings, you're living inside them. Every morning now feels slightly different, not because circumstances changed overnight, but because you did. You've stopped fighting life, you're cooperating with it. And that cooperation creates miracles so subtle they almost look like coincidences. That's what divine partnership feels like, when your effort and God's grace move in sync. It's what happens when obedience stops feeling like duty and starts feeling like rhythm. And maybe that's one of the realest rewards of all this. Not sudden wealth, not recognition, but rest. The deep kind that doesn't depend on perfect conditions. The kind that comes when you finally trust that your goodness has been seen, your faith noted, and your steadiness recorded. So tonight, when you lie down, remember, heaven keeps better records than the world ever could. Every time you chose integrity over convenience, it was written down. Every moment you extended grace instead of gossip, it echoed in eternity. Every act of quiet obedience left an imprint larger than applause ever could. That's why God's presence feels closer now, not because He moved, but because you did. You turned your daily life into dialogue, and He's responding in peace. The coming days may still be ordinary on the surface, traffic, emails, dishes, laughter, but you'll start to notice a sacred undertone in all of it, a steadiness in your steps, a confidence in your timing, a softness in how you hold everything that used to make you tense. That's what it looks like when someone impresses God and keeps walking humbly anyway. You're not performing holiness, you're practicing wholeness, and that's far rarer. So remember, God isn't waiting for a grand gesture. He's smiling at the grace in your smallest ones. Because the way you've been living lately, the patience, the quiet gratitude, the refusal to let the world harden you, is the highest form of praise. And when heaven applauds, it doesn't sound like thunder. It sounds like stillness, like the breath you just took, like the peace that won't leave, no matter what tomorrow brings. That's how you know you impressed God. And the way you keep living right will keep Him smiling every day after. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Nothing in this world is random. Even you being here is not by accident. You found this because tonight, before tomorrow begins, something sacred within you is shifting, and heaven wanted to make sure you're prepared. Dear chosen one, you've been feeling it for a long time now, that strange mix of peace and restlessness, of calm wrapped around anticipation. 1 minute, absolute peace. The next, total chaos. And you can sense that something is rearranging, not outside of you, but through you. This is the doorway to the most powerful season of your life. Not the loudest, not the easiest, but the most real. You've done the inner work quietly, while most people were chasing noise. You faced yourself in silence, healed parts no one knew were bleeding, forgave without receiving an apology, and prayed when no miracle seemed near. All that invisible effort, all that unseen obedience, has finally started to glow through your spirit. God is leading you somewhere your mind can't yet describe, but your soul already recognizes. You're being escorted into your golden era, the time when your inner alignment begins to shape your outer reality. This isn't random favor. It's divine sequence. Every time you chose reflection over reaction, every time you stayed kind in chaos, you were writing the code for this moment. The energy around you is ripening, and that's why life feels different, almost weird lately. The things that used to fit now feel too small. You crave peace more than praise. You protect your mornings like sacred ground. You can't tolerate the conversations that drain you, not because you're better, but because you're finally standing at the gateway of the most authentic era of your life. That's what happens when heaven starts upgrading your frequency. The appetite for distraction disappears, the hunger for purpose sharpens, and lately even your body has begun to speak differently, craving stillness, gentleness, honesty. You may have noticed you need more quiet now. Your system is downloading what your prayers requested. This is where many people stop, because transition feels like loss, but it's not. Losing what no longer serves you is gain, not loss. God closes chapters with full intention, so the next one reads clearly. Think of all the things you once begged to keep, jobs, relationships, routines, that fell apart only for peace to move in afterward. That's divine editing. He's been making space, not taking away. Now the space is ready, and heaven is about to fill it. The coming season isn't about proving anything, it's about receiving. Because when you've done the inner work, receiving is no longer a maybe, it's a certainty. You've shed so many layers that weren't really you. The people-pleasing, the over-explaining, the endless search for validation. Now, you move differently. You speak slower because you listen deeper. You don't rush to answer. You wait to understand. That's spiritual maturity. You're entering the part of your life where manifestation stops feeling like chasing and starts feeling like remembering. Because everything you prayed for has been orbiting you, waiting for you to match its frequency. And tonight, you finally do. God is leading you into divine timing, where effort meets ease, where preparation meets opportunity, where faith meets form. So if lately you've been seeing small confirmations, familiar numbers, repeated words, strange coincidences, don't dismiss them. They're echoes of heaven whispering, stay awake, it's unfolding. You are already blessed, but now those blessings are becoming visible. Not because you did something new, but because you stayed faithful when nothing worked. The truth is, you didn't have to chase this moment. You grew into it. Every prayer, every tear, every sleepless night was fertilizer for what's blooming now. And here's the most important part. You don't need to do anything drastic to prove you're ready. You already are. Just keep showing up with integrity. In your work, your words, your heart posture. The smallest actions done with divine intention carry more power than grand performances done for attention. Dear chosen one, before tomorrow arrives, take one deep breath and realize, this is it. You've crossed the invisible line between preparation and fulfillment. Your frequency is high enough for heaven to trust you with what's next. So tonight isn't just another night. It's an announcement in the spirit realm, a quiet trumpet declaring, they're ready now. Tomorrow will still bring ordinary things, the same sun, the same streets, but you will not meet them the same way. You'll notice that even the seemingly ordinary things have carried sacred messages all along, even the moments that first felt bad. Being fired, breakups, or feeling lost for an entire day, each of these experiences has been carrying something necessary for this chapter. And this is how you'll know you've stepped into your golden era. Life itself will start cooperating with you, and this time, it won't be luck. It will be alignment. See, when God ushers you into your golden era, He doesn't need to change the scenery. He changes the clarity. You start seeing the same world with new eyes. What used to feel heavy now feels guided. What once looked random suddenly connects like pieces of a larger design. You'll notice how mornings hit differently. You wake up before the alarm, not out of anxiety, but with the joy of a new day. There's a knowing within you that today doesn't have to prove anything. You're the one who gives it meaning. That's how this season begins. Quietly, faithfully, unmistakably. You smile at things that once frustrated you. You're no longer pulled by every emotional tide because you've learned that energy is currency, and you now spend it wisely. And people will notice. Some won't understand what shifted, but they'll feel it. The way you walk into a room, the calm that trails behind you. You no longer ask for others' opinions, and that's what makes your presence magnetic. This is what divine favor looks like before it turns visible. It's not always a new house, a promotion, or applause. Sometimes it's simply the ease that follows you into places that once drained you. It's the peace that stays even when outcomes are uncertain. Isn't this what God's been preparing you for? A life where peace and joy no longer depend on circumstance, where even the home you wake up in, the faces you love, the moments you once overlooked, all begin to feel blessed. That's favor. That's proof you've stepped into partnership with heaven. Because when your frequency rises, your path simplifies. You say less, yet accomplish more. You find yourself in divine appointments, meeting the right person, hearing the right message, being in the right place, not by planning, but by being aligned. This is the golden rhythm of your life now. God's timing has synced with your readiness. And that's when miracles start looking ordinary, because they keep happening. Even if you don't feel there yet, you will, sooner than you think. The call that comes just when you need it. The idea that solves what confused you for months. The quiet day that ends up being the breakthrough you never expected. And through it all, something deeper unfolds. You stop rushing. You no longer measure progress by speed, but by the peace it brings. You start trusting delays instead of fearing them, because now you know, delay is never denial when God is directing the traffic. You realize He's not testing your patience, He's pacing your promise. That's the maturity this golden era brings. Not perfection, but partnership. You've learned that obedience creates opportunities no ambition could ever buy. And in that awareness, life stops feeling like survival and starts feeling like a conversation with God. You move, He confirms. You pause, He protects. You act, He amplifies. Even your rest becomes productive, because peace itself starts creating. This is why the pressure of the last few seasons was so intense. It was divine compression, preparing you to expand without breaking. Now that you've been stretched, you can hold more peace, more responsibility, more joy without guilt. And maybe that's the most miraculous part of all this. You no longer sabotage good things when they arrive. You've healed enough to hold happiness instead of question it. This is how God trusts you with bigger assignments, not by testing your talent, but by testing your capacity to remain gentle when the blessing grows heavy. And you've passed that test beautifully. So don't be surprised when this next chapter feels lighter. From now on, life will begin to meet you halfway. Opportunities will call you by name. Your creativity will flow effortlessly. Your prayers will manifest faster because they no longer come from fear, they come from faith. This is the era where everything starts to recognize you back. You'll see your reflection and notice softness in your face. You'll laugh easier, you'll forgive quicker, you'll dream again without doubting the timeline. Because when heaven trusts you with alignment, it gives you the one thing no one can take away: inner confirmation. That's what your golden era truly is. Not external success, internal stability. Not applause, assurance. Not having more, being more. So tonight, before tomorrow arrives, take another deep breath. Whisper gratitude for what already exists. Because you're standing in the promise you once prayed for, it just looks simpler than you imagined. And that simplicity, that's grace in disguise. The waiting season is over, my dear friend. The proving season is over too. You've entered the flow where heaven and earth finally agree about who you are. Your soul is in its golden era. Your life is catching up beautifully. And from here on, everything that's meant for you will know exactly where to find you. Before you go, if you'd like to sit in this same peace a little longer, I've created a place for that. My second channel, Simplified Serenity. It's filled with worship instrumentals made for prayer, meditation, and stillness. A quiet space for your heart to breathe, rest, and connect with God. Just tap on the playlist on your screen. I'd love to see you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Sometimes you forget how much God loves you. Not because you stopped believing, but because life got noisy. Responsibilities, opinions, small frustrations, they pile up until you start to feel ordinary again. But you're not. There's nothing ordinary about someone God has handpicked with precision. When He chooses to reveal that kind of work, it shows up quietly in how you move, how you think, how you respond. And suddenly people start to sense it too, with every cell in their body. You've probably noticed it lately. You're out living a seemingly ordinary day, queue at the shop, short ride in a lift, quick stop for coffee, and someone locks eyes with you longer than makes sense. Not a flirt, not a glare, just stuck. They look away, look back, then pretend they weren't looking at all. You feel the moment land, but you keep moving. Here's the simple truth behind those moments. God made your energy speak before you even think about what you want to say. People don't know what to do in that moment, so it shows up as hesitation. A waiter gets overly polite. A neighbor keeps it brief, not cold, just careful. A friend types, deletes, then sends the toned-down version. They're not sure why they're being cautious with you, they just are. Now think about famous people for a second. Most folks don't walk straight up to them. They hover, they whisper. They don't feel like they have the pass to approach. That's the quiet calculation some people are doing with you. Not because you asked for distance, but because your life started carrying weight, and people treat weighty things carefully. Where did that weight come from? God's hand, working in the background. He didn't give you a speech about it. He changed your everyday shape. You reply slower, but cleaner. You don't explain yourself 3 times. You leave rooms when your spirit says enough, even if the clock says you could stay. You say yes and no without building a courtroom around each one. That kind of clarity has a sound. Rooms hear it. Some will feel safer around you. They exhale. They tell you the real thing instead of the rehearsed version. Others will stall. They'll go jokey, change the topic, or act different for no obvious reason. A few will edge away, not because you harmed them, but because being near you wakes up parts of them they've been avoiding. Your calm presses pause on their noise. There's also another layer you felt, but maybe never named. Sometimes a stranger looks at you like they know you. It's not this life memory, it's older. Souls brush past each other long before introductions do. When they see you now, something in them tries to remember where that recognition came from. They won't find the file, they'll just feel the pull. And yes, there's a reason some people admire you and still won't come closer. Value makes people cautious. If they misstep with a random person, no big deal. If they misstep with you, it feels expensive. So they watch their words. They test the air. They hold back. That gap isn't rejection. It's reverence they don't know how to handle yet. You don't rush to fill the pause. If someone's searching for their words, you let them find them. You keep your warmth visible, a small smile, steady eye contact, one clear question. How are you, really? And lately, you hold your boundaries without a speech. That doesn't work for me, is enough. My dear friend, let careful people be careful. Some need time to match the honesty they feel in you. Give it to them. And about this new you, remember, most people don't approach you because they don't feel they have equal access. They think, what would I even say? Do I belong in that conversation? That's what some are thinking with you spiritually. They sense the God work in your life, and they don't want to mishandle it. It's clumsy, yes, but it's also respect in a rough draft. You'll also meet the other reaction, the cold look, the clipped tone, the person who suddenly turns bitter around you. And now you don't even try to fix it. You don't shrink anymore for it. That was the old you who did that. Your new assignment is to stay exact. Same voice, same pace, same peace, and let their weather be their weather. And for the ones who truly need you, they will cross the room. You won't need to lure them. They'll find plain words. I don't know why, but I feel like I can be honest here. That's your cue. Not a lecture, not a sermon, just presence. One good question, one honest answer, and the patience to listen all the way through. If you ever feel tempted to call these moments awkward, trade that word for confirmation. It's not just a thought in your head. God raised the value of your presence and then adjusted how people read you. It's hard to handle at first, but as time goes by, it becomes second nature. It slows down the wrong motives and clears a lane for the right ones. So when someone gives you that long look and then looks away, smile inside. They're not just seeing you, they're picking up the signal God placed on you. They're doing the same thing people do with a name they respect. They circle first, they measure themselves, and then, when they're ready, they step forward. Beauty in all of this is, you didn't ask to stand out. God decided it was time, and once He decides that, you can't hide, even if you try. See, you were never meant to be easily explained. That's why people study you, mimic you, or quietly measure themselves beside you. They're trying to solve a mystery that wasn't made for logic, it was made for faith. But here's something I want you to remember. You're not responsible for how others react to your light. Your job isn't to dim it, defend it, or prove it's real. You'll just keep walking in it, naturally, humbly, consistently. You've paid for this peace. You reach this steadiness through confusion, heartbreak, rejection, and long seasons of silence, where God seemed far, but was beside you all the time. That's why your yes carries more power than your old explanations ever did. So when people watch you from a distance but won't come near, don't internalize it. That distance is proof that what's on you has weight. God made sure the right ones will feel permission and the wrong ones will feel resistance. That's divine order, not social awkwardness. Some of them will come around later, when they realize you weren't unreachable, just unavailable to what used to drain you. They'll approach gently, and when they do, you'll meet them with kindness, not ego. Because by then, you'll understand, their hesitation was never rejection. It was reverence trying to mature. And those who still turn cold, let them. You don't need to stand in court defending your spirit every time someone misreads your silence. You're not cold, you're focused. You're not distant, you're protected. You're not proud, you're precise. That's what spiritual maturity looks like, knowing when to be approachable and when to stay unavailable. You've learned that not every hand extended deserves to be held, and not every invitation deserves your presence. Your time, your peace, your clarity, they're sacred currency now. And the beauty of it is, you found out you don't have to force respect anymore. But if you ever wonder why your circle feels smaller, know it is the nature of this season. God trimmed distractions disguised as friends and noise disguised as connection. He's making sure what reaches you next is aligned with where He's sending you. This is why your presence feels like pressure to some and peace to others. You've become both the reminder and the invitation. To one person you represent hope, to another accountability, to another proof that obedience pays off. Same you, different mirrors. And yes, that can be lonely sometimes. You can feel surrounded and unseen at the same time. But understand this, being seen by God is heavier than being understood by people. He's the only one who can interpret the weight you carry correctly. You've reached the point where silence speaks louder than defense, and presence does what arguments can't. That's not arrogance, that's true alignment. You've learned to let God do the explaining, because He will. So keep showing up the same way you do recently, steady, kind, confident, without trying. Let people take their time adjusting to the new you. Some will warm up, some will fall away. Neither changes what God already settled about you. And when you feel that familiar stare, in a store, a meeting, a random passing moment, don't roll your eyes or shrink. Smile inside again, because it's still happening for the same reason. They're not staring at you. They're reacting to what God is doing through you. You've become evidence that He's real, that He can take someone ordinary, run them through silence and surrender, and send them back glowing with peace that can't be bought. So walk on. Carry it lightly, but don't hide it. You've spent enough years explaining yourself to people who weren't meant to understand you. This is your season of quiet proof. You don't need to make anyone comfortable anymore. You just need to keep being what God built. Steady, different, undeniable. Because whether they admit it or not, they don't just see you, they feel you. And that feeling is the reason they hesitate, whisper, and stare. The same reason they want you, but fear you. Before you go, if you'd like to sit in this same peace a little longer, I've created a place for that. My second channel, Simplified Serenity. It's filled with worship instrumentals made for prayer, meditation, and stillness. A quiet space for your heart to breathe, rest, and connect with God. Just tap on the playlist on your screen. I'd love to see you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Lately, you've felt it, haven't you? That subtle shift in how people look at you. It's in the way conversations pause when you walk by, the way someone's eyes linger just a little too long, not out of judgment, but confusion. They can't explain it, but something about you feels different. And maybe you've caught yourself wondering, what changed? You didn't announce a new version of yourself. You didn't try to stand out. Yet, suddenly, you do. There's a quiet electricity around you now, a kind of presence that moves before your words do. You can feel it when you walk into a room. The air shifts, people glance up, and even those who once overlooked you sense something they can't quite name. It's not your clothes, it's not your hairstyle, it's not even your confidence. It's the mark of transformation, the kind that no one can fake and no mirror can fully capture. Something on you changed because something in you healed. And the world is only now catching up to that truth. When God restores someone, it doesn't stay invisible. The restoration leaks through your smile, your tone, your stillness. People can feel it, even if they don't understand it. You carry evidence of survival, and those who stare, they're reacting to the glow of someone who's been through fire and came out gold. That's what divine approval looks like. It's not loud, it's not boastful, it's quiet confidence wrapped in grace. Some look at you and see peace they can't find in themselves. Others sense purity in your energy, and it startles them. It's the same peace they once thought was impossible, but when they see it on you, it challenges everything they believe about themselves, and you can't hide it anymore. Because when God decides it's time for your becoming to be seen, He lets your frequency announce it. So don't misinterpret the stares. They're not about vanity. They're about recognition. When you shift in spirit, your environment becomes your mirror, and the eyes around you reflect what heaven already sees. You've crossed an unseen threshold, dear chosen one. You let go of the version that doubted, apologized, and over-explained. And though you didn't say a word about it, people can feel that you no longer seek permission to exist. They can feel your self-possession. Your calm doesn't read as weakness anymore. It reads as authority. The way you hold your silence now, it carries weight. Because silence looks different on those who've been approved by heaven. And maybe that's why people can't look away. They're not seeing arrogance, they're seeing assurance, the kind that only comes from walking through uncertainty and still choosing faith. You see, when God changes your atmosphere, He changes your reflection in other people's eyes too. You're still you, but the light hits you differently now. And for some, that light is hard to handle. It confronts, it exposes, it awakens. They stare not because you're trying to shine, but because your spirit refuses to dim again. Let that sink in. You're no longer striving to prove your worth, and that's what makes it visible. You're standing in what was always yours, and heaven is echoing it through the way people react to you. You might have noticed, conversations feel different too. People who once had power over your emotions now hesitate when they speak to you. They feel the new boundary, not one you declared out loud, but one written by growth itself. That's what happens when God upgrades your aura. Your light becomes self-protecting. It repels what's false and magnetizes what's real. And I know sometimes that visibility can feel strange. You didn't ask for the attention. You just healed. You just outgrew versions of yourself that people were comfortable misunderstanding. But that's the thing about divine transformation. It doesn't ask for permission to be noticed. It announces itself through energy. And when heaven confirms you, earth reacts, sometimes in awe, sometimes in confusion, and sometimes with resistance. So if you've been catching those longer stares lately, if you felt the shift in how people move around you, don't doubt it. That's heaven revealing its evidence. You've changed frequencies. You don't carry exhaustion anymore. You carry assignment. You don't carry fear. You carry discernment. And even when you're quiet, your spirit is loud. That's why they can't stop staring, because something on you changed, and it's not temporary. It's the visible reflection of an invisible approval. You've probably started noticing it more often now. The way people act around you feels different. Some soften up, like your peace calms them. Others get tense, like your presence reminds them of something they lost. And you can't always tell which is which at first. You just feel it, that subtle vibration in the air when someone's energy meets yours. It's not that you're intimidating, it's that you've stopped needing to be understood. And that unsettles people who still chase approval. They don't realize they're staring, but their spirit does. It recognizes the stillness in you, the kind that only appears when a storm has already passed. You used to fill silence with explanation. Now your silence does the explaining. That's growth. You used to make people comfortable by shrinking your truth. Now your truth walks into the room before you do. That's favor. And people can feel it. They don't know what changed, but they sense you've made peace with yourself. And peace is louder than any performance. You've probably seen it in their eyes, that moment when they tilt their head slightly, when their words slow down as if they're recalibrating. They're not reacting to your looks, they're reacting to your lightness. The weight you carried is gone, and the world doesn't know how to categorize the new you yet. Some will be drawn to it, some will be confused by it, and a few will feel exposed in it. Not because you're judging them, but because your calm highlights their chaos. Don't take it personally. That's what transformation does. It rearranges what's around you without your permission. You don't have to analyze every stare. Sometimes it's admiration, sometimes it's conviction, sometimes it's just the soul remembering safety. You are walking proof that peace is possible, and that makes people look twice. And here's the part most people miss. The stares are not just about you, they're about what your presence activates in others. When you healed, you sent a ripple through every space you enter. Old patterns break, unspoken truths rise, and even strangers can feel when a place has just become holy ground. That's why you're here in this season, not to blend in, but to shift atmospheres. You don't have to preach, you don't have to prove, you just have to show up in your wholeness, because the light on you isn't just decoration, it's direction. It tells the room that restoration is real, and I know it can be uncomfortable sometimes, when eyes linger too long, when the energy turns heavy, when you sense both curiosity and resistance in the same space. But remember, you didn't gain attention, you gained evidence. Evidence that God really did something inside you. The same people who once doubted your resilience are now quietly studying it, not out of jealousy, but out of wonder. They're watching to see if peace can really last, and through you, they'll find out that it can. So the next time you feel all eyes on you, don't shrink or rush to disappear. Breathe. Let that awareness remind you. You survived the fire and didn't lose your glow. You're not the same person walking through those doors anymore, and that's exactly the point. You were never meant to be ordinary background in someone else's story. You were meant to walk in carrying evidence that healing is real, and every glance, every whisper, every pause in the room is heaven echoing the same truth. Look, this is what transformation looks like. So hold your head high, chosen one. You're not being stared at, you're being witnessed. And the world needs to see what divine restoration really looks like in motion, because something on you changed, and it's beautiful, and it's holy, and it's yours. As we close, I want to invite you to my second channel. It's filled with peaceful ambient music, created for moments when you need calm, stillness, or gentle focus. You can tap the playlist on your screen, and I'd be grateful to have you join me there.